everyone, this is Laura and I am not coming to you from the old Askew place today. We're actually here at my parents' home where we have a lot of our treasures from the Askew place, waiting till the time comes when we can take them back to the house. So what we're going to do today, as promised, I'm going to show you a couple of things that we have from the house, and I hope you enjoy. The first thing I wanted to show you was one of our brass sconces. Now, these brass sconces hung in the living room, the front room where the gold and ivory lattice is, and they hung on either side of the pocket doors. Is where I believe that they hung. These were gifted to us by our friend and neighbor Nancy, who bought them at the auction back in 2008. So we were very, very happy to have these back. I've started polishing the brass. I have two of them. One of them's disassembled, so I decided to bring in the one that's still together. This one has a minor repair on the back, but it's still a lovely piece. You can't see it, and it's something that is original to the house, which is very, very exciting. When I say original, these were probably manufactured in maybe the 30s, 40s. They are solid brass, which is great. They're not metal covering brass. Actually, the polishing did take away some of the wax that was on these. So after I polish them, I'll have to put a fine burnishing wax over them so they'll retain their original glow. The next piece we have, as you can see right here, is a painting. Now, this painting was not done by Miss Askew, Miss Georgia Askew, who's an artist. This painting was done by her aunt, I believe. And the lady in the picture is her great-great-grandmother, Mary Ford. This picture hung over the mantle. Again, in the main room when you walk in. I'm going to restore the frame on this. Probably not going to do any restoration work to the actual painting itself. I just like it the way it is. Maybe dust it off, but we will repaint and clean out the frame. And this will have a special place of honor in the house. Not sure exactly where we're going to put it back yet, but certainly it will be going back. And right underneath the picture, we'll set that aside, is one of the old chairs. And we are in the process of restoring these. We're doing a colorful fabric on them. I think that they needed a little cheering up. We're not doing like a heavy Victorian brocade or anything like that. We didn't refinish the frames, the actual wood part of the chair. We just polished it up a little bit and let it go because I like the time-worn look it has. And my mother's working on fixing the upholstery on these, so this is her work. But we will be finishing them up soon, and I'll do another feature on the chairs when they're actually done. Okay, so another little piece that we have is from the house, a little small thing. It's this little tea set. Little chocolate set, as they call it. This is a piece of hand-painted Nippon, and Nippon is just the Victorian word for Japan, which is what Japan was called in terms of how it was stamped on China at this particular time. If you can look right there, if it will focus, that's one of the symbols for hand-painted Nippon. I just think this is a really lovely little piece, really dainty, pretty. It's missing some of its gold paint, of course, because it's many years old. I would say that this piece, this is not something that would have belonged, to Miss Askew, whose auction it came from. It would have belonged to her mother, or maybe even her grandmother or great-grandmother. This would have been more of a Mary Ford piece, probably, but I think it's lovely. It's got some cracks and some dings, and someone tried to paint over the break there at some point. Makes you wonder who did that. Maybe Miss Askew did it, who knows. But anyway, I think it just adds to the history of the piece, and I really like it, and it's pretty. Some people might be wondering about the piano. Miss Askew's piano, not this piano. This piano is a new piano. This is a Young Chang grand piano, cherry finish. This is another one of my pride and joys. It has nothing to do with the Askew place. This will be staying at my parents' home. I believe my mother would run me down for it if I tried to move it. But this is, we are planning on restoring Miss Askew's piano. Okay, I did get some, or whomever's piano it began its life as. When I say Miss Askew, it's just because she's who I associate the house with. We are going to eventually restore that piano. However, to restore that piano back to fine playing quality is going to cost about $5,000. So what we're going to do is just make the cabinet really pretty and put a scarf over it and kind of let it lie, you know, until the point when we have, you know, little things like indoor plumbing, lights, and a non-leaking roof on the house. Then we might actually think about restoring that piano, but it is going to stay, so don't worry, the piano's not going anywhere. But it's just kind of one of those years down the line back burner projects. But this piano right here is another one of the things that I just really love. It's a new thing, but it's still a great thing, but new things can be good too. All right. Okay, so the next feature here is this huge wall mirror. Now, this wall mirror was in, I believe, in the piano room, over on the far side of the wall where the piano used to be sitting. So right by the big window on the other side of that, that's where I believe this mirror was originally. It's going to go back there. Regardless, this is just a big, wide, gilt frame mirror. I don't think it's incredibly old. I'd say this mirror is from the 40s or 50s because it doesn't have the beveled glass. But just the sheer size of it in that room, in the piano room, I think is going to be really magnificent when we have the chandelier in the background and everything is painted and glorious and clean. It's going to be a wonderful feature in there. But this too was something that came out of the auction in 2008 that I was able to acquire shortly after at an antique store. So this is another very special piece. And it is very, very heavy. So we're going to have to figure out some creative ways to get this back onto the plaster wall without destroying the plaster that we went through much blood, sweat, and tears to restore. But this is one of the large mirrors that'll go back in the piano room. And last, everyone, certainly not least, is the Canopy bed. Now, this was in Miss Askew's room in the house. Many generations riding by the road on the side of the house probably saw the fringes of the original Canopy hanging in the window. This set in that light blue room where we have some plaster damage. But that was Miss Askew's room, and this is her bed. I was able to get this bed at the auction back in 2008, and I have since done a lot of work on this bed. I haven't refinished it. I've done some work to the wood. We of course had to replace the canopy there with this lovely lace crochet topper, but there it is. This is one of my favorite pieces from the house. One of the things that I always think about when I think about the house, and it's one of the things that I had to remember the house by for many, many, many years before it actually became mine again. So again, pardon the clutter in here. This is in my childhood bedroom because I am staying at home while we're redoing the house. But here is this lovely, lovely bed. And it has some great detail here on the post. And one thing about this bed that I want to show you, sorry for the quality here, I think it's kind of interesting if you can see it in this lighting. Someone put out their cigarettes on the back of my lovely headboard. Like, was that you, Miss Askew? I think it probably But hey, that just adds to the character. Miss Askew also signed her name on the back of this bed. I can't show you where that is, and it's in pencil, so you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But just a cool little anecdote from this bed's past. This bed actually has a maker's mark on it. It's a bed by the Kendall Company. Probably produced sometime in the late 20s, early 1930s. But there she is. Again, everyone, thank you so much for looking at these videos, and we will get better with our video quality. The purpose of these videos is just to bring you some content on the house, so you can see what we're doing and where we're going. Lots of other goodies in this room that I'll have to show at some other point. But thank you so much for watching, and everyone have a great rest of your day, and keep watching for more content. We are going to have a fun video next week where we go to pick up a very special item for the house, so do stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye for now.